Hey guys, so I've just been asked a really difficult question, which is what is the risk of CTE? So CTE is chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is a neurodegenerative disorder that's caused by repeated hits to the head. Now, this doesn't just affect sports players, it also affects, I actually remember a case at a conference of a lady who'd suffered physical abuse for over a decade, repeatedly hit to the face and the head, and she eventually succumbed to CTE. And her symptoms were motor symptoms and speech issues, and also some cognitive and disabilities and dementia issues as well. It was a really tragic, sad case. And so to talk about the risk of CTE is very difficult. We don't know what the risk is. And I also don't want to mislead you or scare you or be misquoted in the future. So I'm not going to give you an answer, but I will say this. So there has been some very reputable neuroscientists, neuropathologists, epidemiologists trying to work out what is the prevalence, what is the risk of CTE. So out of the people who a doctor might suspect may have CTE because they've been hit to the head many times and they have symptoms which are suggestive of CTE, out of those people who have donated their brains to a CTE brain bank, this is a brain bank that specifically specializes in CTE and looks for signs of CTE. Out of those people, depending on which study we look at, between around 10% and 100% of those people will later found have CTE at autopsy. Now, that does not mean that between 10 and 100% of people who play football or play hockey will have CTE. That's completely incorrect, and don't let the media make you think that's true, because it's not. And that's not what we're saying as neuroscientists either, completely not. So let's just back up and look at traumatic brain injuries in the general population. These can be concussion, or they can be something like a car accident, which leads to a very traumatic brain injury. I know concussions can be very severe for some people, but in the medical world, we call these mild traumatic brain injuries. I know they're not mild, but they're just called mild. So if we look at everything from a mild TBI, which is a concussion, right away through to a very disabling traumatic brain injury, something that could even cause death. That risk for the entire general population of the United States of America is 0.5%, which is 1 in 200. So I will confidently sit here and say to you that I believe the risk of CTE is much lower than 0.5%. But that's all I can say. I can't say anything else. So I personally believe, as a neuroscientist, that the risk of CTE for any sports player or anyone in the general population is way below 0.5%, way below 1 in 200. That's all I can say. I don't have any specific facts or numbers to give you. I just know it's a rare disorder. It is a real disorder, but it's very rare. And I think over the next 10, 15 years, we'll have some more clarity on exactly what is going on. But don't let it scare you. From a neuroscience perspective, it's just interesting to study because it's a new disease and it's something that we've discovered within the last, well, it's actually not something we discovered recently. This has been around for forever, especially it was noted in boxers. But it's only been really discovered in terms of what is going on within the brain, the neuropathology. That's only really been discovered in the past 10, 15 years. We now really are beginning to understand exactly what's going on in the brain. So from a neuroscience perspective, that's fascinating. The rest of it, don't let it worry you. Just make informed choices about the things you do and the way you live your life, and don't let the media scare you. Love you guys.